Which one of these meatloafs do you think is better? I wanted to find out which meatless meat made the most meaty meatloaf, Impossible Meat or Beyond Meat. So instead of making my own meatloaf recipe, which I have done in the past using Beyond or Impossible with mixed results, I decided to go directly to the source and use the top recipes for meatloaf on each prospective website. I grabbed a meatloaf recipe from Beyond's website for a simple single-serve meatloaf, and one from Impossible's site for their Impossible barbecue meatloaf. I just wanted to see if I tried their tried and true methods that they felt good enough to share, how good they would actually come out. Can we get a meaty, meatless meatloaf? Let's find out. So first up, let's make the Beyond meatloaf. Now for this meatloaf, it's similar to how I would make my own meatloaf. We're going to start by chopping half of a large onion, chopped fairly small, and toss it into a medium skillet with a little bit of oil over about a medium heat. Now while those are cooking, I'm going to whip together my own version of vegan Worcestershire sauce, and I'm going to be using my new not steak sauce. Now this stuff is really good and it is super versatile. It is like a savory kind of sauce, so it's going to work in a lot of different areas, especially here. So I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of the not steak sauce along with a teaspoon of soy sauce and about 2 teaspoons of rice vinegar or like a white vinegar. Just gonna whip that up, and then once that's done, we have a really good vegan Worcestershire replacement. So once the onions are cooked, I'm gonna add about 1 tablespoon of that replacement over the onions, mix that together, and let that cook for just another moment. And then prep just about 2 or 3 cloves of garlic, mince that up pretty fine, and toss that in. Now in a large bowl, we're gonna be adding Beyond Meat, about a 1/4 cup of panko breadcrumbs, salt, pepper, maybe a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, 1/4 cup of plant-based milk, I'm using oat milk, and 2 tablespoons of not steak sauce. Now in both of these recipes, I am gonna be replacing all of the ketchup, barbecue sauce, and mustard for not steak sauce. It's just going to be the condiment for both of these recipes. Now I'm going to mix this together really well, and you can see this looks pretty good. It looks like a meatloaf consistency, what we're looking for. Now I'm going to oil up just a small loaf pan and just transfer this over to that and just kind of smooth off the top. Now let's set this aside and make our Impossible loaf. Now the one thing I can say about the Beyond recipe is that it's missing some peppers. I thought that was odd. I traditionally would put like a green pepper or red pepper in my meatloaf. The Impossible recipe has that covered, and it's a little bit easier. We're literally just gonna add the Impossible meat, 1 cup of not steak sauce, a half of a medium onion finely chopped, half of a red bell pepper chopped, 2 cloves of garlic minced, 1 teaspoon of Old Bay seasoning. I thought that was odd. Now we're just gonna mix this up, and you can see that this is really loose meat to be a meatloaf, but we'll see how it comes out in the end. So I'm just gonna oil up another small loaf dish, toss this in, and you could see the difference. The Beyond Meatloaf looks like how a meatloaf would look, but the Impossible Meatloaf has all of the elements that I would traditionally like. I'm kind of wondering if the Impossible Meatloaf would have included some breadcrumbs or panko breadcrumbs, if it would have made a difference and made it a little bit denser. So now I have my oven preheated for 425 degrees. We're gonna toss these in and let them bake. Now, the Beyond Meatloaf is going to bake for about 10 minutes. At the end of the 10 minutes, we're going to pull it out. I'm going to add some more not steak sauce to the top of it just to kind of create the glaze. Toss that back in and let both of these bake for about another 15 minutes. Now, I know I keep talking about not steak sauce, but if you haven't heard, this is my new sauce. I spent the last year tuning and tweaking what I thought would make a better steak sauce. This is made with tomato, raw sugar, orange habanero, and miso, along with some other pretty simple ingredients that make this a sweet, savory, and spicy, but not too spicy sauce that is really good. Monica and I have been throwing this on everything, and throw everything you know about steak sauce out the window, because when you pick this up, you are going to love it, which is right now only available at notsteaksauce.com. I'm telling you, I cannot wait for you to try it. So now we just need to pull these out. You can see they look pretty good. They actually both came out a lot denser than I thought they would. The Beyond currently right now feels more dense and more baked together than the Impossible, but we'll see. I'm gonna let these rest for about 10 minutes so that way they can kind of firm up and cool down just a bit, remove them and toss them onto a plate. And these came out both really good. I mean, they look really good. I'm excited for them. The Impossible is looser, I will say that. I haven't cut into it yet, but cutting into the Beyond, this is just like a meatloaf. I mean, nailed it. Probably one of the best plant-based meatloafs as far as meatiness, density, and able to slice it that I've seen. I'm really excited about giving this a try, even with the slight Beyond taste. Now, the Impossible is loose. It's kind of falling apart a little bit, and I can see why. There was a lot of sauce that was involved there without a whole lot of binding ingredients. But I'm not gonna let the appearance alone be my final judgment. I've got it sliced up. These look really good. Now, let's see what Monica has to say.
You give a little dip in the steak sauce.
Now that's good.
Yeah, that is good. I have some thoughts, but I'm thinking maybe we should hold off. Do you know what this is?
That one's not getting on my fork as easily.
Oh, it's real. It's, yeah. Oh, that's what I was worried about. Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
Dink. Can't even dink.
I want a little bit that I can dip too.
I have some thoughts about that too, but okay. You gotta see which one we're going for more of.
Well, I'm just trying this again. Okay.
Okay. Do you know what is what?
This definitely has like that Beyond flavor to it.
Yeah. And then what do you think about this one?
This one doesn't have like a distinct flavor. I'm gonna guess that it's Impossible because we'll put them next to each other, but like it just has its own meatloaf flavor, you know?
Yeah. So they're both, I think, good meatloafs.
Yeah, I enjoy both of them in different ways. I do like this one stays together a little bit better.
Yeah.
And I do like the flavor. I mean, whatever Beyond flavors they're stuffed with, I've always liked. But I like that this one isn't like a standout fake meat that I know what, you know? Even though it falls apart a little bit, it's got more of a meaty texture to it, a meaty bite. Like, I can feel it in my teeth, like reminding me of meat and like a smoother texture than this one. But like, they're both good. I would eat them both all day long, you know?
I think this one reminds me more of a real meatloaf texture.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. But I will say that like that one, and it's only because that one falls apart. If it didn't fall apart, the chew of like the meat, I think, which is what you're saying, is more meaty.
Like I would probably pick this one because of that, because it stays together and like to put it on top of, you know, a dish or how it would.
Or like a sandwich, like a meatloaf sandwich or something.
Yeah.
This would be the one.
But this is also like
But the
still
flavor.
very good.
Yeah, the flavor of this one is out of this world.
Yeah.
This is
So-
more like what I would make.
Honestly, I really only want to eat it if I can dip it in the steak sauce.
Yeah, I mean, it's good with the steak sauce. So
Not steak sauce.
outside of this, not steak sauce. Which one do you think's the winner? Like overall winner, not for any specific reason.
I'm gonna pick this one. I just like it.
Yeah, me too.
know?
I think it's more of like, if this one had like green peppers in it, but the same consistency, this one would be my top for sure. If this one just had more density, like if it stayed together, this would be my top for sure.
Yeah, it's really just a matter of preference.
Yeah.
It's what you like.
Yeah.
So it's not like my pick is gonna be your top pick. They're both really good.
They are both really good. Both solid meatloaf recipes.
Yeah, really good.
Oh, I'm excited to have these now. Like this is my lunch for the next few days.
Yeah, these are really good.
Super good.
This was really good.
Yeah, right?